Hello everybody, it's Max McAllister from Traction Dynamics. We've had some requests for some videos on hardwiring a radar detector to the 2018 Plus Honda GoldWing. It's kind of come on the heels of the release of our radar detector mount bracket. So we'll come around here and take a look. We designed this nice plate to mount radar detectors. We have both left and right styled plates. Let me take this away. You can see them. They mount on top of your master cylinder cover. You just take the two screws out of the factory master cylinder. We supply these nice black coated stainless steel bolts to place it. We supply Velcro for you for your radar detector. And we have it in two formats. One is if your bars are in the stock location, and the other one is if you have the Healy bar setback risers, because it uses a slightly different angle. So we have them for left and right. Obviously, if you have a DCT bike, you can only put it on the right because there is no master cylinder on the left for the clutch. If you have a 6-speed, obviously you can choose the side you want. So the questions have been about how to hardwire the radar detector. Now, what people I know are looking for is some sort of shortcut as to where to like tap in to some wires up here at the front of the bike. And my answer is going to be there isn't any way to do that. You need to buy a proper hardwiring wiring harness and wire it to your bike properly down to the accessory fuse terminal. So hang on, stay there one second, Mr. Camera. What we've used on this bike is a kit from a company called Miratap, and this is part number HT1096. They make all kinds of cords to wire accessories to different vehicles, and so basically it comes with the typical foam plug style connector with a decent length harness that'll easily make it on your GoldWing down to the accessory fuse terminal. So to install this, you need to cleanly, now there's no reason you can't take your cord and zip tie it here along your brake line or zip tie it to your handlebar. We like to do things a little bit nicer here, so we actually pull the decorative cover off the back of the handlebar and routed the wire inside that cover to make it look factory. To do that, you'll have to unbolt the master cylinder. So if you kind of come around here, I'll show you. Under this you pop this cover off here, and under there is two 5mm Allen head bolts. You'll take that loose. The master cylinder will drop down, and you can just lay it there on a rag or a towel and come back around here. What we're trying to get at is hiding in here is a little 3mm Allen head screw. Kind of looks like this one down here. There's one there and one hiding up in there, and that's why we have to take the master cylinder loose. You just let it lay down. That cover will come off, excuse me, and then you can route your wire in there, replace the cover, and put the screws back, making sure you don't pinch anything. I like to use the little tiny zip ties, and I zip tied the wire to the factory Honda harness under the cover just to make sure I wasn't going to pinch anything. At the same time, for this particular client's bike, he wanted to have the audio output come into his helmet from the radar detector. So we ran a 3.5mm audio cord along with the radar detector cord, and he has a Garmin Zumo GPS we've mounted here to his dash. We'll talk about in another video. But we're going to plumb that wire into the audio in of the Zumo. The Zumo communicates via Bluetooth to the rider's helmet, so he'll hear everything the radar detector has to say while he's riding in one clean cabling system. One little trick we did here, just because there's a kind of a sharp edge, we put a little piece of heat shrink on this cable just to protect it over time from any buffeting that might occur around that edge there. So just a little something, something. If you don't have heat shrink, you can do a couple of neat wraps of electrical tape or something like that. Excuse me. So from there, I'm going to have you come around and look down at the dash. I'll hop up there. I'm sorry, go in there. All right. So then we continued on. This is the cable here. We routed it through. Now, to get under this, there's several videos on the internet. I've got one. Helibars has one. You can do this without removing the tank shelter and everything from the bike. But you will need to get this to stand, the console loosed and to stand up. There are shortcuts to doing that, and there's videos shown on that as to how to do that on the internet. There's a couple of them. And so what I recommend is, like for this, we have gaffer's tape all over this and a towel and everything so that once you do stand this up, you don't scratch anything. Now, we ran the cable back down through here, and we followed all the factory Honda wiring harness down here. And I left this loose just to show you. We'll cable tie this down here, following again the factory harness. All right, and then come around this side, where we have our bike apart, so it's much easier for us. You actually could, if you needed to, run, a fish tape or a piece of hard coat hanger or something. So look, I've got this coming through, and it's out up here near the dash. So you can, tape something and pull through the bodywork if you need to. If you don't want to take your bike all the way apart to do the radar detector wire. If you do have it apart, it lets you do a nicer job, because then you can actually secure it following various things on the factory harness, or as we add accessories. Now, the one thing Honda would run through here is like an XM antenna wire, and this guy has that on his bike. We've added that. So we've kind of created our own sub-harness through here to get everything down to the accessory terminal. One tip for this is this fuel tank brace. You can take this one single bolt out here, and that lets the brace lift up. You can just lift it up so you can pass the wires under it neatly, and then put that back down. Make sure that nothing's bound in there or being pinched, so that it's nice and free. And if you happen to have the bike all the way apart, you're looking to make sure the wires aren't near anything sharp or jagged, like this bracket. You wouldn't want it near that. So take a look at the wire and make sure nothing's going to get cut or sliced over time. And once you get to the end, this one comes fused and everything's ready to use. So you can coil the excess up and save this. Then on your Honda fuse block, you open the cover. It says accessory right on it. They supplied you with two nice accessory terminals. These are switched, so when you turn the ignition switch on, you'll get power, and they won't have power when they're not. Here's the hot terminal, there's the ground. Just connect it, and your radar detector is then neatly hardwired and installed. So that's my recommendation. Don't try and find some place and cut into a wire that's just bogus and will result in trouble. And if you do anything stupid like that and burn up a wire or melt some stuff, you're obviously not going to get any warranty support from Honda, because it's going to be your fault. So this is the proper way to do it. And any way other than that, you're not going to find in one of my videos. So, all right. So there's hardwiring your radar detector. And my name's Max. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. If you have any questions, you can comment in the section below here. And don't forget to share these videos with your friends if they've got questions about how to work on their GoldWings. Thanks.